You're talking about all man.
Going against the walls of hell. We're commonwealth for common people. Through community, Mike Martin's you and me. So our enemies, through knowledge, common wealth, common people, commonwealth for common people, commonwealth. Rose in the distance when we were expecting white and pearly gates. With Mike, we tell our stories, share our trades and housing and stocks and all the things that we all make. Through his show, we crescendo symphony.
Bid you all good morning, good evening, and good night, wherever you be watching this transmission. Guys, welcome to Commonwealth for Common People. It is I, Mike Martins. Our Wednesday night show, Commonwealth. A lot of people thought this was Mike in the Night. I'm like, no, Mike in the Night is on Wednesday nights. Saturday nights is Mike in the Night. I'm sorry, I'm going to take that back. Saturday nights is Mike in the Night, and Wednesday nights is Commonwealth for Common People. And I hope everyone's doing okay out there, and everybody is trying to make sense of this BS that's happening. So it is so much BS happening. So I don't even know how to approach any of this anymore, guys. Back in the day, we just approach it with a couple of housing videos. Look what's happening here. Look at this affordability. This is going to take away for people's spending. Disposable income is going to get hit. Disposable income gets hit. Local businesses suffer. There's a lot of chain reactions that happen. Inflation starts creeping in. Banks lower rates. It's just a combination of just so much crap. Guys, if you're sharing links, if you're a moderator and sharing links, the channel can get shut down. If someone shares something that's not YouTube appropriate or not YouTube approved, I'll get shut down. I already got a warning email from moderators that are sharing links. And if it's not YouTube appropriate, they'll actually shut down the stream, and they might even terminate the channel because YouTube is getting fed up with people divulging the truth or people talking about what is what, So that is a major issue nowadays when you try to basically tell people where things are where things are going, where things are headed. So Mike Years in the house is saying low roller Bitcoin going below 10 large. Margie O in the house. Tig Nim in the house. So guys, everyone, please share this video, this live stream while it's live so people could tune in. I'm hoping to get to 14,000 subscribers. I'm hoping to get to 14,000 subscribers by Christmas. I'm only like 12 away. So I usually average like 2 subscribers a month. So if we could get up there, I'd be very happy if I could get up there to that level of subscription. Because I think I'm like 13 or 15 subscribers away, or 20, I don't know, from 14,000. So hopefully I could get 20 subscribers by Christmas. So there's the channel right there if you guys want to subscribe there. Guys, don't forget to set your reminders for Mike in the Night. I don't even know what the heck to call it, so we're calling it We Want Your Soul. Because what more do they want from us? I don't know. I don't even know what they want from us anymore. So here it is. There's the link here for next week's show. We Want Your Soul. Because what else can they take from us if they've taken already everything from us? Guys, don't forget to shop Teespring. I Love Amerifornia t-shirts are selling really well, and sweaters. I Love Amerifornia is here. And guys, don't forget to send me your messages. I'm going to give you my Instagram. If you guys would like to message me here on Instagram, please go ahead and message me here on Instagram. Also, artbydano.com. Don't forget to check him out. Not Your Typical Art. He's a really good guy. He's called into the show many times. And guys, don't forget, Lord Humongous is raising money for Amerifornia. He's got $45. I already donated. I'll donate it again next week. Guys, don't forget to contribute to Lord Humongous's. He's gonna fix his van up, and he's gonna go on the road for Mike in the Night and do some live stream for us, if that's okay with you guys. Go ahead and donate to a good cause. He means well, and he does well. There it is. There's Lord Humongous's PayPal if you guys could donate. So everybody's here that donated. I appreciate everybody here. Maritime, Margaret O'Connor, and me, Mike Martins. And I'll be donating some more on Saturday. Every Mike in the Night I'll donate. Gas shortage is about as real as the housing shortage. That's right! Look at how fast you folks catch on here on the channel. Oh yeah! I just, I don't even know what's going through the minds of the people that actually believe this cockamaniac is for real. And then I'm not talking about fuel shortage. I'm talking about everything that's been thrown at us in the last 2 years. And you can't even really educate anybody about anything. You can't say, hey, by the way, do you think you want to maybe check something out about what you're putting in your body? You're a pro-Trump racist. It's like, dude, I'm just talking about you and your health and the health of your family. So I don't know, like, what's going on here, we do know what's going on, but I mean, how does someone live? Like, I'm like, let's pretend like all this stuff is really, like, and there's people that actually pretend, like, that actually think that all this stuff that's happening is actually really realistically happening in the world. That is very scary stuff. So we got Owen in the house. Margie O saying, I can't believe more people haven't donated. I'm Margaret O. Thanks, Margaret. I appreciate it. I think the real estate collapse is coming this fall in America, says Search for the Truth. You know what? It depends how America plays this card. America could produce Amerifornia for 10, 15 years. Right? Canada, is completely, we're going to go into articles. You guys could go ahead and see for yourself. And we're going to get into, a lot of the stuff that's happening all over the world. And So Anarchy saying in Australia, hi Mike, everyone, no shortage here. Just have to deal with poor quality product dumping. So whatever you buy, it's trash after your first use. That's a big issue about temporary buying, temporary stuff. There's our gas pumps. This photo was sent to me here. So there it is right there. There it is, $2.79 per gallon. And this is out. This is like out of service. Or what are they doing? Okay, so here it is. So let's start with this. This was sent to me here by somebody in Texas. And they said, Mike, please, can you address this on your show tonight? And I said, no problem. A lot of Americans are joining the channel now. So I want to thank all the Americans that are coming on. And I appreciate that because they're going to be going through Amerifornia. So Amerifornia is going to be a big deal. So here it is. This is coming from Austin. Austin bidding wars continue as some homes sell for 20% over asking price. Does this sound familiar to you? Yes, it does. If you live in Australia, New Zealand, and the United Kingdom, you know exactly what they're talking about. It's Amerifornia. Austin, Texas. Looking for a home in Austin is a challenge due to low inventory and high demand. They've been playing the low inventory, high demand game here for years. So all you Americans out there, don't believe in that because there's lots. Ask your politicians or your local members of parliament, how many empty homes do we have? Like California. For every one homeless person, they're saying that was 4.5 empty units. Empty, owned by foreign investing. You ask them that. If you look at our stats from 2020, you can see that we were very steady. President of Austin Board of Retailers, come January 1st, 2021, I have never seen anything like it. Well, you've never been to Vancouver, sweet pea. And it goes on to say, I've been working with this family for 6.5 months. We have put numerous offers, she said. We haven't beat out by as much as 100,000. It just makes it difficult. According to Redfin, people moving in from out of state can afford $200,000 more than those in Austin looking for a home. There you go. So you're probably wondering, Mike, okay, Canada, who moved into Vancouver? Was it all the elite that moved to Vancouver from Canada to make local Vancouver rates unaffordable? The Chinese moved in with a lot of money, and they made it unaffordable for locals. And the locals, well, we could go over the articles if you like, going back to 2014. Don't make me do that, all right? Don't make me show you. Yeah. So there it is right there in Austin. So it is. Amerifornia is coming. It is right here. So Americans, start getting a hold of your local members of parliament and says, we don't want Amerifornia here. Okay, why some Americans are leaving California for Texas. This same person sent me this article. Your quality of life is much higher here in Austin, said Alex. So this is what we've been talking about on the channel too. The quality of life is high and the cost of living is low. And that's very important. That's why a lot of Amerifornians or Californians are going to Texas, right? So Los Angeles, the two most populous states in the United States, is California and Texas, have long competed to attract companies and talent. Data from the 2020 U.S. Census show that Texas is drawing more people, including Californians. Texans have everything. Everything is bigger in Texas by size. It's the largest state. Well, remember, it's a Lone Star state, right? There are many reasons why the state's population is also getting bigger. Your quality of life is so much higher in Texas, said Alex Bucas, who moved with a teenage daughter from San Jose, California, to the Texas capital almost 2 years ago. Bucas has been bouncing back and forth between the two states over years. He said while he missed the outdoor activities and mild weather in California's Bay Area, it is not a financially friendly place for young adults such as his daughter. So there it is. Californians are moving into Texas. All right, let's move on. So here it is right here, coming out of Australia from a few hours ago. Australia's housing crisis, it's one of the most unaffordable in the world. So how is the coalition going to fix it? How are they going to fix this? So we've been talking about Australia here on the channel, again, since 2015. Go on the channel, search across the channel. My video, Get Out of Sydney, is a big deal. I'm warning people to get out of the major cities because it's going to be a poop show. All right, so we got... So Tacos is saying, I live in the suburbs of Vancouver, and no way a local middle-income family could pay above asking. The days of making an offer is over. That's correct. That's 1,000,000,000% correct. We have no gas in North Carolina. Ooh. That says Devin saying that. Cannot drive to work soon, says Kool-Aid. Yeah, we're going to get to gas right now. We're just going to go over a little bit of housing. Okay, and Mike Gearshifts, call Fruity Loops later at the end of the show. He is out getting receipts for research. Oh, he is. God. So someone's saying no, Mike, 30 minutes. Okay. Let's move on. So here it is, Australia. How are they going to fix this? This is good. I would like to know how. Look, the people, parliament, or members, or the selected groups, or select groups that are assigned by these politicians, a lot of these people that they assign could never get a private sector job. Working, will you hire somebody in this to work for you? A lot of these people can't. You know what I'm saying? They keep getting just useless people working in these sectors that just destroy our lives. A majority of these people, a lot of these people, in the political and super groups that they assign for healthcare and all this stuff and all different, a lot of them can't keep a job in the private sector. So it's really, really, really scary. So let's go into this. This is kind of important. So Scotty Morrison's government here, incentives to help people become homeowners may come to nothing without an increase in housing supply. So they're playing the supply versus thing issue there too. The scheme allowed people over 65 to sell their family home and make one of $300,000 contribution to the superannuation balance. Couples could contribute $300,000 each. Superannuation is like the retirement savings. We want Australians to get the most out of their savings in retirement, whether than that to be thought lower fees. But you got to be careful with this, because let's say you don't live long enough and you put all that money in there. How are your kids going to pull that money out for their retirement, or not for their retirement, but for their lives, right? Be careful with that, because we have RSPs in Canada, and a lady bought a whole bunch of her retirement savings plan her whole life. And on her deathbed, she paid tons and tons to take it out to give it to her kids. So Anna Key said there's no fixing Australian prices, so let's just dump this article because it's going nowhere. And here it is. Average New Zealand house tops $900,000 at the end of April. So this means more and more New Zealanders cannot afford. Look at this guy with this tie. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. So, I mean, a lot of these people will not work private sector. They could not. Nobody will hire in these people in the private. Will you pay this guy to work for you? What the heck is going on here? Who's running these things? And they're proud to say, "Oh, look how happy we are. Look how happy average New Zealand house tops $900,000 at the end of April." So what does the average person pay a month for a mortgage if they put 5% down? $4,000 a month in mortgage payments? Well, what about COVID? COVID doesn't exist when you read these articles, right? Or due to COVID, prices have been going up. Makes 0 sense, but it actually makes sense when you look at it on the back end. Start looking at things from the backside and start getting your answers. I'm not even going to waste my time reading that. Why Australia's property is still a popular choice for Chinese buyers. This was sent to me, and foreign investment, they're giving more and more opportunities for foreign investing to come into Australia. Besides the appeal of Australian cheap real estate prices, what other factors is pulling Chinese property buyers? Hassle-free travel, learning atmosphere, foreign investment opportunities, and small business opportunities. And I don't know, remember if you read that article where the Australian government's giving Chinese investors 50, is it 40? Comment in the comments, is it 45 or 30,000? Or 50,000 to Chinese investors to buy their first property in Australia, or to purchase a property in Australia. I'm not too sure what the number was, but the federal Australian government actually. Okay, here it is. So, guys, I was wondering, people watching this in New Zealand, Australia, the UK, I was wondering if you guys, if there's a chance that you guys have articles like this in your country. A record flight of capital, $43.6 billion from Hong Kong to Canada. So housing in Canada is just taken off. It's out of control. And a lot of this money that's left in 2020 has been parked in Canadian real estate. And locals are completely, in Canada, in our like 3 or 4 major cities, we're completely bought out of we're completely bought out of our own markets, and that's become a major issue in Canada. So I'm wondering how much capital was brought into Australia and New Zealand and the UK during 2020, during the hard lockdowns, because travel was open from China right through the whole 2020 hard lockdown. But I can't go to Houston, but I could go to Shanghai if I'm living in Canada. No, I could go to Wuhan. But I can't go. So if you guys can't see through, if you guys can't see through all this BS, I'm just wondering, because this is a lot of money. Like, foreigners are buying more property than Canadians can. Canadians are completely out of their own markets. Grindhouse Cartoon says, I look at the Google map of Canada and 90% of the land is empty. Land should be dirt cheap. No, it's Crown land. Dano? That's Crown land. The Queen of England owns that land. It's Crown land. Right? That's owned by the Queen of England. And I don't know if there's Crown land in Australia or UK, but I know, or it's not the UK, or New Zealand, but I know there's Crown land in Canada, and the Queen of England owns it. All right, let's move on here. So there it is. So anybody out there knows what the capital flight of money that came into your country was last year? Because America is crying over $11 billion of Chinese investors in 2020. $11.6 billion to be exact. Canada gets $43 billion. That's just a fraction of what came in. So Americans are complaining $11 billion is ruining us, and it's propping up the housing prices in what was it? Utah, Montana, South Dakota. Where else was it? Oh, other states were propping up the prices, and people were complaining about 11 billion of Chinese investors in America in 2020, and that's why housing is Amerifornia is full blast. And we got 43 billion, and we have 35 million people in Canada. So I kind of want to find that out. Yeah, Scott is saying the Queen owns more than 90% of Canadian land. That's correct. Yep, Ontario Bigfoot Investigations is saying 90% of Ontario is Crown land. I think it's 91%. It's 90 something percent in Ontario. That's correct. Now, let's go into this before we go into gas discussion. So if you guys want to call in about gas and in your local area, gas, what's going on, gas, add me on Skype, Mike Martins 1980. So Aussie Jen is saying mortgage rates just have increased to 3%. You'd have to be mad to purchase property in Australia now. This is a theory that I've been developing for the last 5 years. They're going to raise interest rates, but the local Australian, the local Canadian, the local New Zealander can't afford the difference in mortgage payments. So they're going to default, and you're going to have more foreign money. Again, that other article I put up, $43 billion. You could pay 3%, or you could pay free and clear. Right? That's why for every one homeless person in LA County, you got almost 4.5 empty units. One homeless person, 4.5 empty units in LA County. And there's 61,000 homeless people in LA County. So do the math. Devin saying you can call me. Yeah, add me on Skype, Mike Martins 1980. Devin, if you want to call, tell us what's happening in your local areas. I would like to know if that's okay with gasoline, if there's some sort of gasoline. So Dano's saying, why do the Canadians allow it's Canada. When the empires were divided, the Portuguese, the Spanish, and the English, the French had nothing. The Dutch, those guys were all a joke. when the three major powers were divided, the Portuguese had enormous amounts of land in Africa. They weren't allowed to keep crown land because England said it was not allowed, even though the Portuguese-speaking countries in Africa begged the Portuguese to come back and recolonize, because after they left, everything went to, because of the two-sided wars that England and France and the Germans started, so they could loot all the resources and take those capitals. Look it up. A lot of people don't know Cuba was at war with Angola. Look it up. Cuba was at war with Portuguese Africa because they wanted the capital. Oh yeah, big cities Portuguese built in 500 years. Not 5 weeks like the French. 500 years. Yeah. Okay, let's get into this. This is important, guys. So what happened was, sorry, let me finish my story. England gave up their colonies or kind of signed them over, but kept crown land so they could keep a majority of stake in their hands. So the locals don't really have anything here. And that's why things are out of control here in Canada. All right, here goes. Only Canada's top 5% of households could qualify for a mortgage on a home. This is from NBC. So now listen to this. 5%. So what's 5% of 35 million, guys? 35,000? So 5%. Right? So that's how many people could afford to get into. Anna Key saying some parliamentarians in Canberra have 34 homes. Of course they do. Okay, so there it is right there. Only Canada's top 5% of households could qualify for a mortgage. So there you go. 5%. And this is a mortgage. This is not free and clear. I could guarantee you, I could bet you 100 to 1 that 18% of Americans could buy a home free and clear anywhere in the United States. Not anywhere like as in like expensive. I'm pretty sure there's some Americans that live, let's say in Texas, that could own and buy a house free and clear, let's say in Alabama. Or a rich New Yorker that could own and buy a house free and clear in Florida. Or a medium wage earner that saved his money could buy a house free and clear in South Carolina. I believe there's a lot of, like 18% of Americans could own a home free and clear if they just choose to buy a home. I think they could. In Canada, it's not even 5%. And we have 35 million people, right? So, okay, so we got the comments rolling here. Devin is saying, hold on, let me see here. That you are on my, I am on your Skype. Let me see here. Let's get somebody on the show here. Oh. There you are. Let's call Devin, find out what's going on. Oh. Devin.
Hello?
There you are. Let's call Devin, find out what's going on. Yeah, you lower the volume on your side there, guys. Guys, make sure you lower the volume on your end of the show because it's not streaming live. Devin?
Hello?
Hello, Devin?
Hey.
Yes. You lowered the volume on your end there. So how you doing tonight?
Doing good.
Good. Oh, okay, lower the volume there on your end. I can hear it perfectly here. Guys, make sure you lower the volume on your end of the show. There you go. I hear you using the clicker there.
Can you hear me?
Devin?
Hello? Hello? Hey. Hey.
Yes. You lowered the volume on your end there. So how you doing tonight?
Doing good.
Good. Oh, okay, lower the volume there on your end. I can hear it perfectly here. Guys, make sure you lower the volume on your end of the show. There you go. I hear you using the clicker there. Wow, it's actually relooping into relooping into relooping.
Hey.
Yes. You lowered the volume on your end. Okay, there's a huge loop going through. Okay. So, Devin, you got to lower your volume completely because there's a lag, and I'm picking up the lag here. Guys, that sounded so cool, eh? It was a relapse with a relapse, and it was going in an infinite loop over and over and over. Wow, Kool-Aid, I'm sorry to hear that about your wife. Your spouse, sorry, had cancer. Sorry about that. 8 months in treatment. Cancer is a war in itself. All right, let's try Devin one more time. Devin, lower your volume completely. Let's see if Devin picks up. I like the loop. It's like an infinite loop in space.
8 months in treatment. Cancer is a war in itself.
Hello?
What?
Okay, lower that side there.
My side?
Yeah, all of it. All right.
It's all the way down.
Good. Thank you. Devin, how you doing? Tell us what's going on in your neck of the woods.
Well, we're completely out of gas all around my area.
Well,
And
where are you?
they're
North.
piles. I'm in near Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Okay. And so how far can you get to with the gas you have currently in your vehicles?
I could probably drive one more day.
Are they letting you guys know that some sort of gasoline's coming soon? Or
They got gas, but they can't fill them up fast enough.
okay, so they got gas. So gas is arriving.
Yeah, but once it gets there, it's gone within 30 minutes.
Oh my god. Okay, well do you have to drive to work? Is work far?
I drive about 30 minutes.
Ooh. So you got a days or 2 days left of gas, eh?
Yeah.
Huh.
And my doctor drives from Raleigh, probably an hour and a half, and he's only got a day's worth of gas. And he comes every day till done.
Holy crap. So are you is there panic or what are you seeing there? Is there panic or are people freaking out?
People freaking out. They're filling 10 to 20 gas gallons. Their trucks, their boats, their anything they can fill up.
Oh, wow. What about I heard people are filling up plastic bags?
Yes.
Okay, people listening, pay attention. Do not fill up plastic bags. The gasoline will dissolve right through it.
Yes. Well, I've seen that multiple times.
Wow. People are filling plastic bags with gas. So, you are noticing this. What are your neighbors saying about? Are you guys in lockdown there in North Carolina?
I think they've lifted it, or this Friday they'll be lifting it to 100% outside.
Okay. Okay. So then you'll be out to the COVID thing is going to be. I guess COVID now that Trump's out of office, COVID's gone now, or.
No, they said if we they want us to get up to 66.6% vaccinated, and I'm not getting it.
Oh, of
So,
course you're not getting it.
yeah.
I'm not a doctor, nor do I give medical advice, but I just be cautious about something sticking something in your body you're not too sure about. What is it per gallon there? Is it $3 per gallon?
Yes.
Holy crap! That's
And they're predicting by summer right at 5 to 6 a gallon.
5 to 6 pesos or American dollars?
American dollars.
Holy crap!
Yeah.
That's a lot of cash.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm sorry. Well, I'm happy to hear you guys are reopening. Were there a lot of small business closures there in North Carolina?
Yes.
Damn it. I guess the Costco did okay, and all the big stores did well, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow. I'm so lost for words right now. Okay, gas is arriving. That's a good sign, and it's coming in by. Do you notice them coming in on big rigs, or are they coming in on other? There's other way. Like, are you noticing a lot of big rigs of gas driving around the highways, or is it just? Because I heard.
Yes, big rigs, and they just put it in law that we can actually get them shipped.
Because that's what's happening. The whole train thing, and there's the pipeline thing, and there's all this Mickey Mousing happening that they're gonna have to conveniently ship it the most expensive way.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's going to jack it up even more. That's why they said 5 to 6 by summer.
My God. Wow, this is raping the middle class. Okay, Devin. Devin, call us on Mike in the Night with any updates you might have on Saturday nights. I appreciate that if you want to come back on.
Okay, I will.
All right. Thank you so much, Dev. Have a good one.
You
Have
are-
a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Guys, that is Devin from North Carolina giving us an update on what's happening. So this is, I don't know, like this is a major issue where everyone's freaking out and there's people trying to fill plastic bags up with gasoline. Guys, don't fill up plastic bags with gasoline. It's like dangerous. And okay, let's get back to here real quick, and then we're going to go on to what's happening in the markets and get some more gas calls. Great, you borrowed a down payment from your parents. The one problem, your income is needed is much higher to qualify for a mortgage. Yep, only 5% of Canada's households could qualify for a mortgage. Improved economy and higher inflation may force the Bank of Canada to hike early. So interest rates might go up. They should go up. Especially if America's reopening. It's rest in peace, Canada. Canadian dollar is getting stronger. So keep an eye on that too. Toronto real estate just made a move that typically leads to falling prices. Greater Toronto real estate's inventory squeeze appears to be rapidly coming to an end. The sales to new listings ratio. Oh, let's check it out. Uh-oh. There it is. And there is the price over year. So this is sales to listings ratio. So sales are going down. Sales to listing ratio is going down, and inventory is going up. Oh, are we going to see a correction? Is it coming? Is it going to come in my lifetime? I love it when I read articles in Better Dwelling. It's going to take 30 years to make a down payment on a house in Canada. 30 years. In Vancouver, Toronto, and other cities, it's going to take you 30 years to put a down payment. I like telling my son, you're 20 now, you're going to go to work full time. When you're 53, 20, 30, 40, 53, you put a down payment on a house. Yeah! All right, this is what we got to keep an eye on here. Could this gasoline shortage be this? Asia stocks drop as inflation worries mount market wrap. So here it is right there. Let's go into right here. Oil retreated back below $66 a barrel. This biggest U.S. gasoline pipeline is reopening after the cyber attack that sparked an acute fuel shortage. Cooper's advance stalled after the inflation numbers. U.S. consumer price climbed in April by the most since 2009, adding fuel to the debate over whether inflation will be persistent enough to force the Federal Reserve to tighten policy sooner than thought. So what they did was 3 years ago when I made a video on the channel, it's here, where we're talking about gas prices. Let me bring it up so I could show you. Okay, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you how to search across the channel, guys, if you're bored. Go to here, go to the magnifying glass. So just type in gas, for example. So there it is, gas prices. This is from 2 years ago. We were saying, look, gas prices are going to go up. Gas prices should go up. Gas prices are going to skyrocket. Gas prices are out of control. $2 a liter by summer. This is 3 years ago, 2 years ago. And look at my gas bill. I'm paying $400 or $500 for my gas bill every month. Now you're probably wondering. Well, Mike, you were wrong all this time. Now let me tell you how they actually fixed this from going up. They actually just raised property tax like 3 times. So they raised property tax in able to hedge against the price increase, right? So people were thinking, look, if we raise property tax, then people still have a home to live in, so they don't have to worry about paying more money to travel to work, right? So, okay, they travel to work. They're going to have to pay for more gas. Fair enough. Let's not hit the gas pumps. Let's hit property tax. Let's hit the homeowners first. So they raised property taxes a couple of times. And this is how they saved the price of gas from going up. So I kind of wanted to share that with you guys there. Let's move on here. So the ASX is in a little bit of trouble here in Australia. ASX, Australian Stock Exchange, drops again. Wall Street tumbles amid inflation fears. So there it is right there. It is tumbling. The ASX, the Australian share market, looks set to tumble lower again on Thursday, following the sell-off on Wall Street. According to the latest SPI features, the ASX 200 is expected to open the day 33 points or 0.5% lower. So there it is right there. Oil, according to Bloomberg, the WTI crude oil price is up 0.85 cents to 65.84 per barrel. Gold's 1,817. And cryptocurrencies were broadly higher on Wednesday, recovering some of the losses they made on Tuesday. All right, let's move on forward. Canadian dollar notches a 6-year high as inflation jumps. So there it is. The Canadian dollar strengthened against the U.S. counterpart and all other G10 currencies on Wednesday as oil prices rose and investors bet that the Bank of Canada would be more sensitive to rising inflation than the Federal Reserve. You know what? I'm going to go against this because they're going to have a really tough time, Canada, keeping this in check, because you're going to see a lot of Canadians. You're going to see a lot of Canadians get foreclosed on. But don't worry. We got billions of dollars coming in from China that's just going to buy the rest of our properties up. You know? Let's move on. Global chip shortage, pandemic demand drive up home appliance prices. So while gas shortages are all over the place, appliances are going up. Thank God I bought my washer, dishwasher, and my fridge, and my dryer, and my washer. Thank God we picked that up before all this. So global chip shortage. So a global shortage of computer chips, along with the surge in demand during the pandemic, has driven up prices from home. Why do they keep saying pandemic? Why are they calling it a pandemic? A pandemic is 21% death rate. That's a pandemic. That's when everybody around you is falling off the chair. 21% death rate. That's from the 1911. I think it's from the 1911 Encyclopedia Britannica or something. Something from there from 1911, 1912. It's a 21% death rate. So they gotta like really stop calling it what it's not. Scott Toreka saying, I'm buying up the gold dip. Layla say, Raven call in. Papa Piss, so foreclosure is the goal. The Raven says, if the government allowed the protests to grow, they are evening out the armies of opposition. They want us to go fight each other outside. One side needs to grow, which means probably this year. Kool-Aid is saying, oh, but there's nothing wrong with the economy. Everything's okay. All right, so there's a chip shortage kicking around here. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Oh, Ellen DeGenerate. My instincts told me that it's time to end talk show after 19 seasons. See, we need more and more millionaires and billionaires to tell the poor people how they should live their lives. That's nice when you get somebody like The View. I call The View PU. You know The View? A bunch of people that have, $100+ million each, and they're telling other people how they should be living and telling people what they should be doing. You should be doing this and this and that. What do you know about being poor? What do you know about having to earn an honest pay? Okay, so this one's from a couple of, what is this, May 11th? Oh, this is yesterday, so I got yesterday's article here, guys, I'm sorry. U.S. gas stations report, okay, let's move on. Okay, Colonial Pipeline, restarted operations. Owner says it will take several days for supply chain to return to normal. U.S. Waives clean fuel rights to alleviate shortage after pipeline shutdown. I don't know what they're planning on doing, but brawl breaks out at North Carolina. I should have found out if our caller from North Carolina that just spoke to us, if she was at that, if she knows about this brawl. Brawl breaks out in North Carolina gas station amid fuel shortage and rising prices. It looks like this guy's fighting with this woman. It appears tensions were high on Tuesday as Americans rushed to fill up their tanks amid fears. Imagine fuel shortage. We had a toilet paper shortage. People were battle royale for toilet paper shortages. Imagine gasoline. The video of the fight, which posted to Instagram and it contains some strong language, appears to show the woman getting out of her car and spitting at the driver of the gray car. Yeah, that's typical. The man exits his car and walks over to the woman and it appears to spit right back. A spitting competition. Let's go back to kindergarten, people. Let's spit on each other. Wow, I can't believe it, man. People like... Well, spitting, yeah, but when it's like the brawls you saw for toilet paper, where people were being put in headlocks, and people were jumping off the top roll. They were on the second, third rolls, a set of rolls of toilet paper. They were jumping off with the flying elbow. Gas shortages worsen on 6th day of outage as U.S. Fuel pipeline by cyber attack. Okay, is it the pandemic or cyber attack? Yeah, we're gonna make some things clear here. We need to know if it's pandemic or cyber attack. Don't fill plastic bags with U.S. warns as shortage grow over ransomware attacks. Okay, guys, do not put... I'm going to make this very clear. Do not put gasoline in plastic bags. It's not going to work. I don't know if you guys ever watched that show Breaking Bad when they had a perfectly good bathtub and they tried to dissolve a body upstairs and they didn't use the right plastic container to contain the dissolving liquid. And you guys know what I'm talking about if you watch Breaking Bad. All right, let's move on. All right. Senator Schumer urges U.S. to work with Canada to reopen border. That's not going to happen. Canada is going to lose so much of its private sector professional workers. It's phenomenal. They laid off 3,200 nurses in 2020 in Canada, 3,200 registered nurses in 3,300 across Canada in 2020. And they're looking to close down 100-plus rural hospitals in Canada. This is what I'm hearing through the grapevine from people that work in the... So what's going to happen is I think Canada might sell its socialized medicine to a private sector. I don't know what's going to happen with that, with Canada's healthcare. I'm worried about this. So this is it right here. I don't think they're going to allow the border to open, but you could still go to China if you like from Canada. The whole lockdown was China's open. Don't worry. And construction, private sector construction is essential, even though no Canadians could afford to buy anything. That's how it works. All right, let's get back here. So we got Dogecoin, Bitcoin Dogecoin. Sink after Elon Musk walks back Tesla support for crypto transaction. Is Elon Musk getting the pressure from some of the bigger uppers? So there's the Yahoo Finance markets are open right now for the next 4 hours and 30 minutes in Australia. And there it is. Bitcoin is down 9,702 Australian dollars. It somewhat looks like it's... I can't tell with Australian dollars. Gold is at 18.15. Oil is at 65.64. And the All Ordinaries is at 7,242, is down 39.10 points in Australia. The FTSE right now in Hong Kong is up. Sorry, in the UK was up, but the Nikkei 225 in Japan is slightly down. Markets are down slightly. It's down 400 points. Holy crap. The Hang Seng in Hong Kong, it looks like the guys, check and see if it's a holiday in Hong Kong, because the Hang Seng looks like it's not even open. I mean, is it open? Someone let me know if it's a holiday in Hong Kong or something. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. All right. We'll get our next caller on. Guys, if you don't mind, don't forget to subscribe to the channel here real quick. I want to get to 14,000 subscribers by Christmas. I'm at 13,920, I think. 13,920. And we're about 6 months from January, March, April, May, June? Yeah, we're like 6.5 months away, 7 months from Christmas, almost 7 months from Christmas. If you guys don't mind subscribing to my channel, I want to get to 14,000 by Christmas. So hopefully we could do that. Don't forget to share this. Lots of videos coming up, guys. Set your reminders for Mike in the Night. We Want Your Soul. And the reason why I'm calling it We Want Your Soul is because what do they want from us? What do they have left to take from us? What do they have left to take from us now? Right? The price of fuel and energy is going up. The price of food's going up. The price of the basic costs, the basic human right cost of living, all you need is a job to live, is gone. So you need 4 jobs. So don't forget to set your reminders for Mike in the Night this Saturday. What do they want from us? That's what I'd like to know. All right. What else we got going? All right, let's take in some calls now. It's call time on Mike in the Night. All right, we got Fruity Loops. I don't mind him calling in, but he can't swear. He's down in the States. The Great Deception just subbed to my channel. Thank you. All right, Fruity Loops is out to lunch. All right, let's move on. No, it's dinner there. Okay, let's call somebody in Australia right now and find out what the heck is going on there. If there's some sort of gas shortage there, if there's anything happening there with distribution. We're getting a bizarre ringtone here.
The person whom you're trying to...
All right, he's not available. Okay, Money's calling. Yo, Money, what's up, buddy?
Hey, what's up?
All right, dude, quick plug. What's going on? What's the price of gas? Are there gas wars there?
So the gas situation is just a total money grab. It's a total money grab. Like, it's a disgusting disgrace. So Texas is the same situation. They had Energy Transfer made $2.5 billion off of that money grab. And this one, you know, I made some money off oil energy. I've been telling people to buy it.
I have tons of oil.
Yeah, and I told people to buy it like a long time ago, and it hit $70 almost today.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, even when it was at $20, you know, I guess like they didn't understand that I'm a real guy back when it was $20. But you know, they kind of talked me out of it when it was 20 because I was holding it at 20. But yeah, you know, it's just a bunch of money grab. That's all they want. They're gonna come up with, right, you know, the next, how much, everything's a shortage. You know, what is they ran out of everything. They don't want to open up the stores around here because they're saying they don't have labor. Meanwhile, you know, look at what they're trying to pay people per hour. They're all the discussion all day wasn't inflation. Well, it was inflation, but they were switching it with wage inflation. They don't want people making money. Okay, that's the major inflation concern. The more money people make, the more issues it is for them, because they sold out. They're all cahoots at the top, right? Executive producer Marion John Carey's sister, Hillary Clinton's brother is married to George Soros. You know, it's all disgusting. They're all on the top. That's why none of them been exposed yet. You know, so they're playing this little fiddle with their foundation. We all had enough. Some people aren't really aware of how deep this goes with the corruption and the money laundering with these former presidents. Okay, you know, Hussein, he's the Antichrist.
Well, before we go severely off topic here, what's gas price in your area right now? Where are you right now? And what's the gas price there?
So I don't use gas. I don't use a vehicle at all. I'm not looking to travel. If I do, I'm going to get on a plane. I'm just hoping that basically I'm between New York and the Southeast, and my major concern is I have a flight right in a week, and if we don't get these stupid pipelines turned back on, because they're telling us, yeah, they're turned on, that it's BS. It's not turned on yet, because they would give the story instead of having NSA hackers on the news all day over the last 2 days. We don't need to see former hackers, because they're not former hackers, right? Unless they smoked a joint and got 86'd out. They're not former hackers. Nobody's a former, okay? When these people are on the news and they say they're former, this and that, no, they're still active duty, okay? So they're painting pictures for you, and smoky mirrors and narratives about this oil crap is just money grab. It's a money grab.
It's a bunch of garbage.
So look at the inflation on, yeah, it's a bunch of crap with the, I gotta pay now. I was getting cheaper flights. I was getting flights, like I said, I was traveling all over for cheap. Now the flights have gone up. I understand, spring break. Nobody was traveling for spring break, but the inflation it is some some things with the flights, the car rentals, the used cars. Why are used cars going up in prices? You could buy a car 2-3 months ago, and then now it's 20% more in value. How does that happen? So
Okay, we got a question here in our comments. What happened to the gas reserves? Because we had an oversupply of gasoline reserves, and we had a massive oversupply of crude oil during this pandemic. I got to do this in quotations. So what are we? So what happened to the gas reserves? We had a lot of gas in the ground. We had a lot of gas ready to go.
Yeah. So
I think it's
I'm
like
not going to help these people out, because they probably listening to this show. You didn't notice last week after we talked last Wednesday, the whole narrative ever since last Wednesday followed what our show said. It wasn't until exactly what we talked about until they went with that narrative. So I don't want to be feeding them a narrative for the next news cycle, because that's basically what it is. They're addicted to the next stories,
Well, I know you've been following the patterns, and for some bizarre reasons, every time we talk about something here, a week or two later, it happens.
Right. I was like, gosh, man, this is like repetitive, because it's been 7 days. I watched the news. Mostly, like, I have CNBC on right now, but it's Shark Tank is on, so it's not necessarily news. So I keep it rolling 24/7. Yeah, but it's been nonstop. Like it's been every single day since we talked about this inflation thing. And I know we've been saying that from when we first talked in November that all the assets would go higher. I had said the oil, even just like any asset would go higher. And it did happen. But in the last, since we talked, I just don't want to give them an easy narrative. For them to, if they are, because they do, there's moderators, there's other people who work for YouTube. YouTube is military run. And, I don't know if anybody's listening who doesn't realize that yet. I'm in the military, like, not specifically right now, but I will be enlisting if things are going as I planned. And when we first talked, and I told you about the forecasting of the economy, I did end the story with apocalypse. You remember that, and you laughed, right? I said it's coming 2000. Like it's. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there is this whole situation that's undeveloping, and the military is a part of it. So unfortunately, we're dealing with whether or not this is an internal pipeline shutdown, or if it is, a bunch of random kids in America who are acting like it's Russia to create more Middle East crisis. You do see some stuff going on in Israel right now. I think it's more religious, but
you know what? That region's been in war 2,000-3,000 years before the birth of Christ. It's been,
and it's mostly biblical. Most of the stuff that's going on.
It's been going on for so long there. It's like lucky if you get a week without any problems.
Yeah. So so over the next next 2 years, we're gonna go through a lot of events. That's why I kind of stay tuned to the news, because I know most other people who don't want to be aware of the research are just tuning out, and I can appreciate their willingness to do that. But again, they're going to go through the hardest times in your life, and I've been trying to prepare people, um, over the next 2 years. It's not sure when it's going to happen, but I'm preparing. So I bought a ton of gold. I bought the TLT. I bought it both ways actually right now. So I own it long and short because I don't know if interest rates are going to spike to 1980 levels where it's going to go 8
Oh,
10%.
whoa, no. If we see that, the common man is going to be held hostage in his own country.
Well, why wouldn't they do that? I mean, they're doing everything else. Like the Texas shutdown, they charging people $13,000 for electric bill. How does any administration allow anything like that to happen? I mean, when something like that happens, it should be an immediate step in, and it should be stopped. At least Trump would, do an executive order to do some type of resiliency for the people, and he would point out these deficiencies of whatever he called it, the deep state. But there is something going on, and he did make people aware of the situation, and we just don't know the true families really that are involved at the top of the pyramid yet. So that's what the problem is, because I feel that this whole thing with oil is situated like this for a terrorist reason, because there is a group of people that I do feel that are involved with this. And I mentioned this before, is that's why I don't like bringing out these narratives, because that there was a oil embargoes, and that was really it turned into a terror situation. And
yeah, that was back in the late 70s, early 80s.
yeah, and it still has to do with the same type of people that are still around. Unfortunately, Bush Jr. is still around, but his father was involved in that, and the same people who's popping up on the news with saying they're NSA hackers, they're involved in that deep state too. So this is like, they shouldn't be putting NSA hackers on the news saying situations about a hacking situation unless it was military.
Right.
So they're trying to paint it as Russia, but I think more or less it's just going to give them a reason to create some type of chaos in the Middle East, to create a higher oil price also. And then when the oil prices go to $5 plus or $6 plus, people won't be able to travel to work, and it will create another crisis. And it will create some type of famine, because it will destroy food distribution, and people can't get food properly.
Right. Well, we're seeing massive food shortages right now in Colombia as we speak. Let's get an update. I'm going to let you go.
Yeah.
We're going to get you on Saturday, if you want, on Mike of the Night, to give us an update on what's happening in the Middle East, okay?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a money grab, and whatever, I guess do what you do, try to make some money, Mike, and thanks for having me.
Forget about it. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
See ya. All right, that's Fruity Loops. Don't forget to Markets. It's Markets. Let him comment here in the live comments here. It's Markets, and he's got a YouTube channel where he does a couple of things for people there. Let me see if I can get Lawrence on the phone real quick. He's down in Colombia, and they're having not only gas shortages in Colombia, but they're actually having food shortages in Colombia in the major cities. And apparently it's running rampant, out of control. So let's give a call down to Bogota, Medellin. All right, let's call Colombia real quick here. See if he's got a minute to talk to us. If he doesn't, we'll let him go. Hello, Lawrence?
Hello, Mike.
Hi, you're live on the show right now, A Commonwealth for Common Folks. Give us a rundown of what's happening down. We're talking about gas shortages here, the, I guess, manufacturing of it. What is going down in Colombia with the unsettledness?
Well, it's gradually, slowly coming back to normal.
Okay.
The place where I am now, or at least the department, or you would call it in Canada a province, or the Americans would call it a state. Here they call it a department. This department here at the moment still, and probably until the weekend, according to my information, is going to be sealed off from the rest of the country. I cannot travel to I can travel to cities right within the department, but I cannot go to the next state or department. And I have not gone into Cali because of the situation there, but according to my contacts in Cali, things within the city are coming back to normal. Fuel is moving, people are able to buy gas, the lineups are shortening. Right where we are, we've had no issue with access to food. We're surrounded by small farms here where they grow stuff every month of the year, so there's no shortage of fresh farm eggs and fruit and carrots and onions and potatoes and chickens and stuff like that. So there's lots to eat here, but according to a fellow that I talked to a couple of nights ago in Cali, which is a city of what, 2 or 3 million people, there was several days there where all they could buy was rice and beans and just very, very basic starchy stuff. There was no fruit or meat at all in the shelves. So, but I'm told that now is coming back to normal.
Okay, that's good to hear that Colombia is coming back to normal because what is the main? Let me just see what the mainstream media here is trying to spin. Colombia is in the third. This is from 2 hours ago. They're reporting that Colombia enters a third week of anti-government protests. So I guess COVID's on the back shelf right now. I guess COVID is, on the back shelf.
Well, yeah, you know, they're saying that I've been told that the media in North America is saying that the police and the military are shooting unarmed civilians. Actually, it's civilians shooting at the police, and that's not really even the whole story. And if I could just give you a very brief geography rundown, the department we're in here is called the Valley of the Cauca River, in Spanish, Valle del Cauca. And south of there is the Department of Cauca, which has the capital city of Popayán. And the Department of Cauca has a very large indigenous population.
Mm-hmm.
And what they've been doing is chartering buses and coming into Cali and looting and ransacking the wealthier areas. So
They're pulling what they did in the States where they would bus people around to protest.
That's right.
Oh.
Now, so, and then I, somebody sent me a message from Dawson Creek today. I won't say who, of course, but the question was put to me, gee, we're here that the people that the police and military are shooting at unarmed civilians and that the people are starving. And I said, well, starving people don't charter 14 or 15 bucks and send them to a city 2 hours away to ransack and shoot at the police there. Starving people don't do that. They're more concerned about their next meal before they would do something like that. So
there's no gasoline shortages there.
Well, there's no gasoline shortage. There's a bit of a distribution problem here, but which is gradually resolving itself. But there's lots of gas.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right, Lawrence. I just wanted an update there in South America, and we'll let you go. And I appreciate the update.
Yep.
And we'll probably call you on Mike in the Night if things start to get out of hand down there. Okay.
Yeah, I think things are coming back. I have some business to do up in Pereira, which is in the next apartment away from here. I have through a city called Cartago to get there. And then the other place I need to go is Armenia, which is in the department of Quindío. I have business to do there in the next few days. So I hope that things are settled down to the point where I can do that. So we'll see. Yeah.
All right, Lawrence.
Meantime, I'm well fed. I'm warm. It's quiet. This is a pretty comfortable retirement here. So.
Good. All right, Lawrence. Thank you so much. We'll keep in touch with you. Okay.
You have a good one.
God
Take care.
bless. Bye.
See you. Bye.
That is Lawrence updating us on what is happening in Colombia. They were going through some massive issues, and not just food shortages, distribution shortages, and the media spinning it like, I don't know what the media is trying to sway here, and it's very hard to read. Like, it's easy to read between the lines, but when it comes to countries that we have representation, this channel has representation in a lot of countries. So it's good to hear from multiple sources on what's going on and where it's happening. And I wanted to get a buddy down there from... I want to get Nitin on the phone. Let's see if Nitin picks up the phone. We're trying to call him in India. I know he's in the comments. Nitin, are you there? Hello? Nitin?
Can you hear me now, Mike?
Yeah, I could hear you perfectly. How are you? Okay, so Nitin is out of India. What part of India? Let people know where you're out of.
I'm from Bangalore.
Okay, good. So what is happening there, like, economic-wise? Are the farmers... What's happening with this whole thing? We're hearing a mixture of stories. We're hearing all kinds of... Can you tell us what's happening on the ground in India?
Well, Mike, a lot of things are happening. Like, we don't know what is what.
Confusion.
Yes, there's a lot of chaos. And with this COVID thing running around, everything is, like, really masked really well.
Mm-hmm.
With the vaccination drives running. I've sent you some pictures on Skype.
Mm-hmm.
That's a vaccination center near my place.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a lot of fake drugs running around.
Fake drugs?
Yeah, for the COVID, this one, the tablets and all. Tablets, injections, especially the injections. I sent you a picture of it on Skype.
Okay, I'm going to Google there right now. Sorry, my entire desktop just shut right down. And I got to reopen everything here page by page here. Give me 1 second here. I hate when that happens, when I'm trying to, do 50 things at one time. All right, looks like everything's back up. All right, so what is happening? Like, what do you think is happening?
Like, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors running. That's for sure. Certain things which people are not aware of is happening, like prices of things are going up. Mike, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly. Keep going. We're listening.
So prices of things are going up. The petrol prices have gone up for the last few days. I think for the last whole month, it's gone up. And it's a little subtle changes, Mike. Like, if you look at the charts, like, they increase the price only on the weekdays by, like, paisas, like 24 paisa, 10 paisa, like that. And they keep on increasing. And this has an adverse effect on the everyday items like food, meats, fish, everything. So the price of food is going up. That's one major thing. And with this COVID thing, we are running out of hospital beds. There's literally entire lines where people are waiting to get admitted.
What is this black fungus thing that's going around?
That's a new one. That's a new thing which happened. So the patients who are actually recovered from the COVID, they seem to develop a new kind of thing where a kind of fungus is getting grown on their lungs. Is
this after they take the jab?
No, that is not clear. That they're not saying. But they said recovered. This is the exact word they said. Recovered COVID patients.
So there's a black fungus appearing in people, and there's a lot of images circulating the internet with this.
Yes, and this thing attacks the brain. If it attacks the brain, then it's a death sentence.
Interesting.
So there was a little cases last year, but now it's increased in India. So that's that.
Mm-hmm. Is it true you guys are running out of wood?
we are running out of wood to burn people, to cremate people.
Mm-hmm.
and few of my friends' relatives, they passed away due to this, and they actually waited for like hours together to get their bodies cremated.
Wow.
Even at work, few of my colleagues are down with this.
Wow.
They're quarantined. My cousin's marriage was like 2 weeks ago, and his uncle from his mother's side, he actually passed away yesterday
Oh, I'm sorry to hear
with
that.
this. Sorry, his son actually came to the wedding, and they're all quarantined, and he passed away yesterday. So the cremation was yesterday.
Let me ask, are you hearing about the dead bodies found in the Ganges River?
Yes. So they actually prohibited dumping of the body. It's like a tradition there where actually people dump the bodies in the river, and they actually was strict laws against it, and now they are redoing it again. So this particular news popped up like I think last week. I mean, this week I actually saw this.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
There's a lot of things, Mike.
A lot of things happening.
And yes, and the work from home situation is like for the last entire. I think from March it started last March, and it's still continuing. Many people actually relocated back to their hometowns since it's a work from home option.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has gone back to their hometown and
Wow.
working from there. Like I can when I go before, and we are currently in a lockdown here.
So you're at home.
Yes, and it's a lockdown. Like you cannot go out. Like there's a strict curfew. Like morning 6 to 10, you can actually go out and buy necessities. After that, you cannot go out. And if you want to go out, you can only go by walk and not by bike or car.
Mm.
So that's something else. Like they literally the cops stop you, and they fine you. My friend who actually goes to his factory, he actually is going bicycle now. He pedals like 4 kilometers every day, up and down to go to the factory.
Wow.
It's very now they're taking it a little more stricter. Like police, the people since the people are a little resistant, cops have taken a little what do you say, a stand. Let's put it in that.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. The cops are taking a stand. Okay, now let's throw something else out there. Then what happened to the 200,000 man protest that was in India like a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Mike. Even I want to know about that because there's absolutely no information leaked on that front. Even if you Google that, you won't find anything relevant to. There is no current event available. Like it will be like last month.
It's kind of funny that a couple of weeks ago you had a 200,000 man protest in India because your government was stealing people's land, private citizens, and corporizing or whatever the heck they want to do. And then all of a sudden this mystery black fungus starts coming out of nowhere?
Yes. This, I remember I told you regarding the agricultural law, right? Where the actually corporates can actually determine the price. And they're actually doing this and getting lands. Yeah.
There's too much happening.
Yes, and one more thing, Mike. This was in the news, and I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure many of the mainstream media never covered this. Like all the wealthy guys, like wealthy Indians, they actually booked flights, private jets, and got the hell out of India.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because I think that what happened was those protests were getting out of hand and they needed some sort of thing to happen to quiet it down. Same thing with Hong Kong. They were in protests 50, 60 weeks. And look what happened in Hong Kong. Look what happened in France with the Yellow Vest movement. They were in protest almost 50, 60 weeks too. And then something appeared. Something mysteriously appeared. Anyways,
Nitin, this has been happening. And one more thing, Mike.
Go ahead.
This is something which I did a little research on. Like I just wanted to just know about this. So I went to a few pharmacies near my place, like in a 2-kilometer radius, and just spoke to the guys there in a friendly chat. And I asked them, how's the business like? Then I particularly wanted information saying regarding this one, anxiety meds, depression meds. So they told me that the amount that they're selling has increased like close to 100 to 150% from last year to this year.
Wow.
So people are literally buying up anti-depression meds, anti-anxiety meds. That's the legal ones. I'm not even talking about the illegal ones. There's a lot of weed running around, a lot of other things, psychedelics.
Yeah. No, I understand.
Yeah,
Okay.
recently they actually got 300 kgs of marijuana close to Bangalore.
Wow.
I think it was 3,000. I'm not sure. I think it's 300 or 3,000. I'm not sure. I think it was day for yesterday.
Was this the government?
Yeah, the government actually seized this.
Oh, they seized it.
Yes.
I wonder I wonder if it's gonna go up in smoke.
Yeah, good question, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
As per the protocol, they're supposed to burn it.
Yeah.
Supposed to burn it.
I heard in other countries where they're burning or destroying the drugs, they actually fill them with empty, shredded Japanese newspapers and rotten apple cores. Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
Might not be true, but.
All right, listen.
But I few of my friends, they're like, I just spoke to these guys and they say, bro, the supply is like really high right now, and like people are like really buying it left and right.
Right.
So the lockdown is not bothering them at all.
Interesting. You know what? Keep an eye on everything for us. We'll get you on Mike in the night to give us an update on what the heck is going on there, okay? If you wake up in time.
Yeah, Mike. Yes, and last week I actually slept off, Mike.
You slept? That's okay. It's early in the morning there when I do Mike in the night anyway. It's early in the morning. It's fine, yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, because there's lockdown, there's not much point of getting up early and going to church on Sundays.
Yeah.
So just sleep off. Anyway, I'll do some research on the farmers thing and get back to you on the mic.
Please let me know what's going on with the farmers. Why this massive biggest protest in human history has disappeared off the face of the earth. God bless you, Nitin.
God bless you, Mike, and everyone.
All right,
bye-bye.
Bye. That is Nitin from Bangalore, India, who is in front of the line there. What's going on? So he's got some photos from here describing what is happening there. So there's shortages of everything happening there. So let's get some footage here. Here it is right here. So it looks like there's lineups here. I'm not sure. Taxi. People walking the streets. Oh, it's the National Urban Health Mission. That's probably in his immediate area because you can't go more than 2 kilometers out. There's someone there taking a prick. Or a needle or prick or whatever you call it. People signing documents. And, oh yeah, there's a lot of fake medication going around. So guys, make sure if you're going to buy medication for, I don't care what it is, make sure it's real. Don't buy fake crap off of some, you know what I'm saying? So thank you so much, Nitin, for calling us and being awake in India to talk to us. I think it's like Thursday early in the morning in India right now, so he's awake. Yeah, Braveheart saying a vaccine should not have magnets sticking to an arm. That's correct. Yeah, no, there's too much going on, and we're not getting the full story here. We got problems in Colombia, and there's shortages. There was shortages of food. Apparently, it's coming back to normal. And India is being ransacked. We're just trying to figure out. I actually want to know what the heck happened to that massive 200,000 plus man. No hay gasolina. Dame más gasolina. Oh, come on. Who's going to claim this offer? Come on, Bloomberg. You spent $2 billion running for president. You couldn't even get past the primaries. Yeah. All right. We got Dano in the house. We got Leia. I want to see those magnets. Tig, we're not actually. That is what is currently. So who else we got here in the comments? We got lots of people floating through the comments tonight. All right. Let's do one quick channel plug, and we're going to get on to some more callers here. Hope everybody's doing good out there. And lots of economic disturbances around the world. We went over housing earlier. We went over gasoline shortages. We had a caller from North Carolina. We had a caller from New York State, New York City. We had another caller in from Colombia. Tell us what's going on there with the protests. And then we had someone in from India calling us, giving us an update, and he's going to work on finding out what is happening to the biggest protest in human history has disappeared off the face of the earth. All right, guys. Don't forget, guys, to subscribe to the channel. I want to get to 14,000 subscribers by Christmas. I'm about 20 subscribers short. I'm at 13,900. I would like to get to 14,000 subscribers in the next 6 months. I usually get 2 to 3 a month. So hopefully I could get to 14,000 by then. Don't forget to set your reminders for Mike in the Night. We Want Your Soul. And I'm calling it We Want Your Soul because what do they want from us now? You know? So go ahead and check it out. We Want Your Soul. And guys, don't forget to Amerifornia t-shirts are back in style now. I love Amerifornia. Guys, if you're going to message me on Instagram. Message me on Instagram. Please. Artbydano.com. Don't forget to check out Art by Dano. Not your typical art. Really good guy. He's been on the show many times giving us an update of his current condition and what is happening there in California. All right, guys, don't forget to donate to Lord Humongous, guys. Come on, everybody. Deep pockets. Lord Humongous is getting his van ready for a Mike in the Night tour across America, and he's going to be actually we're going to be streaming live through with Lord Humongous. So he's raising money to make it possible. So I told him I'm going to tell him what kind of phone he needs to buy that's going to allow him to upload and go live on stream and contact us here on Skype while we're streaming, and it's going to be really good. So don't forget to Mike in the Night Amerifornia Tour 2021-2022. And it'd be nice to find out what is going on with all this and giving us an update. So let's get Stephen Thomas in Australia real quick to find out what the heck is going on. Stephen.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. So this is Stephen from Victoria, Australia, from Melbourne. Stephen, has the gasoline shortage reached Australia yet?
Not yet. I heard that this morning, but give it about 3 or 4 weeks, it will.
Yeah, it's always going to arrive there no matter what. If there's something here that happens, it's going to happen there in a couple of weeks or vice versa.
Yes, that's right. It's normally a bit of a delay before it reaches us, but it does get here.
Mm-hmm. So, food. I heard the price of food in Australia has been actually itching up. It's been going up actually faster than it should be.
Yes, well, what I'm planning to do myself is move to an area where there's food production.
Food production, yeah.
So by doing that, there's less chance of food inflation.
Mm-hmm.
And by doing that, you'll live a longer and healthier life.
Just like our last caller in Colombia, he lives around 5 farms.
Yes.
And he's in Colombia, and he's living around 5 farms, and he's not worried about food shortages there, right?
No, because you're in a...
So that's a good idea, like you just said. Live in a more rural area where you're closer to farmers markets and food inflation is not going to hit too hard. That's a really good idea. So what's going on? I know you work as a chartered, what do you call it?
APA, accountant.
An accountant. What is happening with the younger folks? What's going on there in Australia? Less than 5% of the population could afford anything anymore. What the heck is going on?
Well, basically, there's a limit on the number of jobs available for younger people.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the problem is the traditional job that was there is no longer available en masse. So you've got to go into small business almost doing what you and I are doing now.
Interesting.
Because if you don't do that, you won't have an income.
What about job forbearance thing payment or job buddy or whatever they call it there? Are they going to cancel the payment soon?
Yes, well, that ended in March, end of March. So JobKeeper is now over. JobSeeker has actually reduced.
Okay. So people are finding work, I guess.
Yes and no. They're going into small business, like I said, because there are no traditional jobs.
Wow. That's really tough. But that's good because it's going to expand the private sector more.
And not only that, people will be more independent.
Yeah.
They won't be relying on, say, an employer, for example, because they are the employer.
That's right. You don't have to. That's why I do this show, is because I don't have to deal with an employer saying, I saw your show last night, I don't like what you said. I'm like, well, too bad. You know what I'm saying? That's why I do my own thing. Stephen, I have been audited like 13 times since I've been on YouTube, but I mean, I pay my taxes, so I don't know. There's only so much they could do to me, right?
That's right. If you've been audited on a regular basis, you know in the back of your own mind you've got nothing to fear as long as your records are correct.
Right. So I'm not worried at all. So all right, keep us afloat on what's happening with food there, gasoline. Keep us in the loop there and what's happening in Australia, so we know what's going on. I know you know your numbers. You're a chartered accountant. You know what's going on. You're seeing what's happening. Affordability. Are they going to raise rates in Australia?
They've done it yesterday on 2-year fixed rates.
Okay.
So instead of 1.5% or thereabouts, it's now 2+.
Okay. Now, this is obviously a lot of people aren't going to buy a lot of property anymore at that rate, especially with the average house in some of the metropolitan major cities in and around $1 million.
Yes, correct. Now, as I said earlier, one of the reasons is because I'm in Melbourne at the moment, but I want to get out of Melbourne and go to a food producing area where the housing is much cheaper by about a third of what's in Melbourne.
Okay, that's smart. That's a really smart move. Really smart move. Where I'm at, there's like 12 farms around me. I mean, I drive 3 minutes out of town. I'm in farm country. So that's a really smart move. All right, Stephen, I'm going to let you go. Anything else?
Sorry, I was just going to say that move will be for the long term, not the short term.
Okay. Well, it's good to hear that you got some, you're moving some chess pieces around in your life. And I remember when you were in lockdown in your apartment, you were pretty much on eating cardboard for a while there.
Yes.
Okay, Stephen, we'll keep you on the pulse. We'll keep you on the pulse and keep us updated on what's happening there in Victoria, Australia.
No problems. Talk to you soon.
God bless.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
That is Stephen Thomas. There in Australia. So we got in someone from Australia. Interest rates did go up in Australia. I should have mentioned that at the beginning of the show. But right now with housing, I don't think the Australian proper is going to, price of food is itching upwards. So they are raising rates. Are they going to leave food and gas alone in Australia? Only time will tell. Sorry, guys. I got the sun blasting in here. It is still sunny here in the Pacific region. And that's why I do Mike in the night. I start at 7, and it's still sunny out. I mean, it doesn't get dark till like 10 p.m. out west, right? So, okay, so we got, I paid $130 for 13 of flexible trim today. Prices are skyrocketing on everything. We need to get, maybe we should get Blunt News on too. We haven't had Blunt News on in a while. I would like to find out what is going on with Blunt News. He is in my favorites. I wonder if he could talk. Let's just crank call him. Let's see if Blunt News picks up. He's probably busy. I know he's got a life, so everyone's got a life here, so... No, he's not online. Okay, Blunt News is not online. This is going nuts-o, nuts-o, nuts-o. All right, we got everyone calling from different parts of the world to find out what the heck is going on in your neck of the woods. If you want to be a first-time caller, go ahead and call into the show. If you want to be a first-time caller, let us know. Someone's saying we need to get the Raven on because the Raven apparently has some sort of a timeline he needs to share with us. This economic... CN is usually hiring. That's Canadian. Blunt News says, no, Mike, he cannot come on. Scott is saying people have no sense of perception. The entire world is knee deep in pee and poo-poosh right now, and it hasn't even gotten started yet. Please call. No, Trump won't talk to me. Don't call. My wife's on the PC. President's choice. Let's see, Raven. That's Belinda Gates' email. Okay, let's make a phone call here. Let's make some phone calls here. See what we got out there. I don't know if the Raven's working. I'll just call him and see if he picks up the phone. Been trying to reach you. A lot tougher to get than the president.
No, I'm easier to get than him.
You know,
what's that?
I want to see if we can get Jose Biden here on the border, along the Canadian border, wearing his mask and saying, Trudeau, open that border up, take down that wall.
Yeah.
That would be a sight to see. I'd actually pay $1,000 to see that.
I don't think Biden could find our border.
It is, 5,000, 4,000 miles long.
Yeah, it's something like that. 4,000 kilometers. I don't know.
All right, tell us what's on your mind, buddy, please.
Layla wanted me to talk about that time frame. I went full kook. My voice is kind of gone. I went full kook for 2 hours in a parking lot this morning.
Oh my God, were you alone?
No, We're starting to meet groups of people. I met a group of people. They're Christians. They're called the 12 tribes. They're spread throughout the world. I met those people. They're very interesting. They homeschool. They run companies and businesses around the world. They don't vaccinate. They stay out of the system, and they're prepared. You know, they see everything coming that we talk about. They see it all coming, and it's interesting to see these groups out there. And we met some other groups.
Hello?
Oh, you still there, Mike?
Yeah. You went on pause for a second. Your face must have touched the phone. He's on hold. He put us on hold again, guys. We were on hold again. There you go. Hello?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Just got to bang on the door. This guy keeps phoning me. But, I know.
Woo!
So anyways, yeah, we met some new people, and we're all kind of talking, and we meet up and that. But you can't meet too many people, eh?
Mm-hmm. Continue.
Yeah, just go down and hit the breaker. Sorry about that. My tenant power went out on him. Anyways, Layla was saying the time frame. I was talking about the time frame because when I was talking with those people today, they're asking me. They're saying, "What's the time frame? What do you think?" They go, "We won't hold you to it." And I'm looking at the indicators that we can go by. Okay. Look at the protests, right? You got 300,000 in Montreal. You got I don't know, I think Sunday coming up in Toronto. This would be a big one. 100,000, 1 million in London. They're gaining traction. Okay.
Kill the bill in London. Kill the bill.
Yeah, but the people like in my city, it went pretty big. 20 last year, 2,500 this year. It's going to be 10,000 by July. You know, these things are gaining traction. They're getting big.
How long is the media going to be spinning these protests as pro-Trump protests and not lockdown protests?
They call them anti-maskers. That's what.
Hello? I think we lost the Raven again. Hello?
Montreal.
We lost you for a second there. We lost you for like 10 seconds. What were you saying? Anti-maskers and...
Yeah, they call us anti-maskers. It's just a negative, you know, they want to spin it negative, so they just say that. They're actually freedom rallies, right? So you get 300,000 people walking down a street. Lots of other people want to join along. And now you got more lockdowns and more people wake up. People don't go back to sleep. You take that genie out of the bottle, you're not going to put it back. You're not going to go from being awake to go back to being a vaccine. You know, you stay on our side. Their side grows by 0. Our side grows exponentially, as you can see in the protests, right? Mm-hmm. If the governments around the world allow these protests to grow. They're going to start multiplying, like doubling and tripling, and they're going to get so big that it's going to be a massive problem.
Well, what happened? What happened to that 200,000 man protest in India that was going like crazy?
Well, in New Delhi, the 700 farmers, they're doing land grabs, right?
Right. Yeah, we had Nitin from India on the show telling us what was happening, and they're corporatizing land and stealing land from people, and 200,000 to 700,000 people were protesting for the last 40 weeks has been going on, and all of a sudden this sickness shows up out of nowhere and boom.
If they shut down the protests, then they want to push, because there's a point in the future they want to get to. That's why they lied to us about inflation. The Fed lied for 12 years about inflation because they wanted to get us to a point in the future. It's getting more difficult for them to lie now. And inflation has now started. CPI numbers, I'm sure everybody has seen what's going on with that. The markets are crashing all over. That's from the CPI. There's a distant point in the future that they want to get us to, probably where they roll us into a crypto. But if they shut down the protests, then that distant point is further away. If they let these protests grow, then they're evening out the armies because they've divided this nation for everybody to hate everybody. Right now, we are a small number. We're 20% of the population, maybe. They want to bring that up to about 40, so the battlefields are more even, right? So can I go full kook, Mike?
Yeah, just don't swear.
I'm not going to swear, okay? I don't know, maybe people agree with what I'm about to say, but maybe they won't. I think that a lot of this comes back to Jeffrey Epstein.
Really?
Jeffrey Epstein got all his control files. They told him 20 years ago, I'm walking really fast, that's why I'm out of wind here, okay? They told him 20 years ago, get the control files. You don't need to get the king, you don't need to get the queen, but get a kid. You get a kid, you got them all, okay? These people are all in this together on some level or another. They're either being controlled by a control file or they're just in it. The top people in the families, the banking families, they're just in it. The people in Israel, they're just in it. But the people that are the puppets around the nation, a lot of them are in it for greed and corruption, but a lot have control files on them. And when you have a control file on somebody, they don't want those videos getting out because it'll just ruin whoever they have the control files on. Catherine Austin Fitts said all the Congress, all the Senate have control files on them. That's how they control people. It's how I would control people if I was in their position. It's just the best way. You don't got to convince them nothing. Hey, look what I got on you. Epstein was brought in 20 years.
Hello? Hello, Raven? Hello? It looks like we lost the Raven. What the heck is going on? We lost the Raven, folks. Let's see if he calls us back. Saying user is offline. Interesting. Well, see if he calls back and find out what's going on here on his timeline here that he's got going on. I'll call back. I'll try calling him back in 3 minutes here. See if we get some sort of connection here with the Raven to find out what the heck is going on. There's so much happening. And we have a good show. We got people from almost, 5 different countries on the show tonight. Kind of weighing in on let's try again. All right. Let's see if it connects here. His Skype is off. It's been turned off. Skype is turned off. So I hope he's okay, and we'll give him a call in a couple of minutes here. Let's get Jacob here in Toronto on the phone. I don't think I got too many people here from Canada on the phone today. A lot of people from the States.
Hello.
Hey Jacob, what's going on? We got you on the show. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, not much. How you doing?
Yeah, we lost the Raven earlier, and we just can't get him on the phone.
Well, he said he's out and about. He's probably got an intermittent connection.
Yeah.
I could explain how cell phones work if you like, but I'm sure you have more important things to talk about.
Well, I need to know what the heck is going on. Okay, you're in Toronto. Gas shortages. Is it helping out, or what's going on in Toronto there? Gas shortages.
Well, we haven't seen any spike yet here, but I'm sure it's in the mail. It takes time to cycle through their system, right? I used to work in oil and gas, so I know how it works. They pull it out and the prices cycle through over a period of days, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what's happening is they apparently had some kind of cyber attack in one of their pipelines.
Okay, now you're an expert in security expert when it comes to this kind of stuff. What are the odds of that? What are the odds of that really happening?
Without intimate details, which are really, really sketchy and hard to find, I would say next to zero, but like 5%. What would happen is it would either have to be an internal issue or it was a supply issue that they're saying is a cybersecurity attack. Essentially, there's not what would be the purpose other than to disrupt fuel supplies. It wouldn't affect, like, you know, if you want to say it was quote unquote the Russians, it wouldn't be, because what benefit would be to temporarily disrupt fuel in the United States?
Do you think the Raven got vanned?
It's certainly possible, but what I think happened is, as he was walking from one area to another, his phone pinged another tower, because your phone doesn't really talk to you direct; it talks to the closest tower, and he probably switched over towers. So as you move from one area to another, there's a lag, and he probably dropped, and now he can't reach. Now he's having trouble reaching out. Maybe he's trying to call you right now, and we're on the phone.
Guys, what do you have to say about people filling plastic bags with gasoline?
Well, this is the toilet paper all over again. Remember the toilet paper?
The toilet paper wars. Yeah, we were talking about that at the beginning of the show. The toilet paper wars. Now we're going into fuel wars. How long before we see water wars?
Well, we've been fighting water wars for quite some time. I'm sure your friend in India could attest to that. You have the Bengali Basin, which is all through Tibet and northern India and Bangladesh. That water basin up in the Himalayas, it feeds more than half the world's population: China, India, Bangladesh. Right? They've been fighting wars over that since the 1950s. This is why China conquered Tibet. Had everything to do with water. Because if they have a major river that goes right through the center of their country called the Yangtze, right? And they have it all dammed off and controlled, essentially, starving Bangladesh, Pakistan, and India of their essentially huge parts of their water.
Well, I got some detectives working on the case right now in India to try and find out for the channel exactly what the heck is happening to the 250,000 man protest in India that just disappeared 3 weeks ago.
It was far larger than that.
It went up to 700,000 people, yes.
Yeah, it was far larger than that. You can get 200,000 people in India on a cloudy day, right? And you're talking about landowners and the small, the mom and pop farmers there. They were the ones that were protesting because they're getting their land seized essentially by companies that rhyme with Monsanto and things of that nature, right? Because what they did over here, they're doing it over there, right? So what they did here in the United States is the big conglomerates bought out all the small farms, and now they're massive farms. And all your listeners that are out there, if you go out to like Alberta and Saskatchewan, which is the center of Canada, there are farms that are like a half an hour drive at 100 kilometers an hour. They're that big, right? That doesn't exist anywhere else in the world, but that's what they're going for now.
Interesting.
Because exactly what happens with monopolies is you get 8 companies, then you get 4, then you get 2, and then you get 1, right? As we're broadcasting on a platform right now that is essentially the broadcasting monopoly, rhymes with YouTube, right?
Right. You know what? It's kind of funny how like the whole world started to see protests like early 2019.
Yes.
And then you started to see, you had Hong Kong, you had the Gilets de Jaunes in France, the Yellow Vests. You had where was it? The Middle East was in protest. Parts of Europe, not just France, but other parts of Europe. And then you had South America erupting in riots and protesting. And then all of a sudden, everything, just now, every time something happens, there's a lockdown.
Well, if you notice that the big transfer of professionals that we call the baby boomers, they walked in around 2017. They started to retire. They started to, and now we're like, by 2022, there won't be any boomers working, essentially, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as you can see, the economy started to chug when they started retiring, because you had all these, essentially all the industry leaders were all retiring, right? And this is the chug, the slowdown of the what you want to call your globalist economy, right? And everything else that came afterwards is a perfect guise to slow down this frothy, what they say, frothy economy, essentially. So we're seeing the slowdown. They're putting on the air brakes, and you want to call it a pandemic, maybe, or a financial crisis. They have different words for it.
Yeah, they manufactured these words. Like my favorite is medical prohibition.
That's a fantastic one.
Who the hell
you should have
makes
been in
this
PR.
shit up?
Yeah, exactly. These are PR firms. These are boardrooms full of people that literally spitball all day and come up with ideas. And we have to mask how, because what's happening now is, as the boomers moved in, the consumerism stopped, because they stopped generating income and started drawing on their savings, on their pensions,
and taking on debt. And then we
That's
have
right.
governments on record telling, "Oh, it's so good to take on debt. It's so good."
Yeah, when was that ever a thing, Mike? You're a businessman, you know this. When was that ever a thing?
It never was. You don't go into debt. You don't put yourself into debt unless you are like at an act of losing everything.
Because I know you run your own books, right? There's no point is red ink ever a good thing.
No.
Right?
No.
That is an absolute nonsense. What I'm seeing, if you're asking my opinion, is it's not that it's good to be in debt. It's we have to be in debt, because they're already bankrupt, right? 40% of us are dropped out of the workforce and now become drawing on the system instead of contributing.
Right.
And they never banked for that. They just never played for a ring. It's the one child policy in China, right? What's going to happen by 2100? There's going to be like 200 million people left in China, because they permanently crippled their demographics, right? We need to have your perpetual growth economies. You need perpetual growth demographics. It's just not going to happen. And as you can see now, if you take a look at the news, all the little brush wars are starting to pop up everywhere. You got Israel, you have the Ukraine, you have Myanmar, and more are coming. You see all these brush wars because people are starting to spasm. These shortages are like your air supply, and if somebody starts messing with your air supply, you're going to start to panic.
Right.
Whether the danger is real or perceived, you're going to get the spasms. And when you have 600 million people or 1 billion people to look after, you're going to have a far larger spasm, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah, my friends that are in steel and oil and gas, they're telling me that they can't find steel, they can't find wood, they can't find these things. It's not that we don't have them; it's we don't have the ability to ship them.
It's becoming a major issue. Jacob, let me let you go. We got the Raven that needs to come back on and finish his message here.
Raven's fantastic. I'll be here. Cheers.
No, we'll have you on Mike in the night. We need to get an update. Who knows? That's why we don't know what's going to happen in the next show. That's why I leave it up to randomness,
Oh, you and your fans, I'm at your service.
All right. Thank you, Jacob. God bless you.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, let's get the Raven back on if he's available to speak.
Okay, I'm gonna try to carefully hold my phone here. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's okay. Don't be sorry. If the phone fails, it's not your fault.
Yeah, I was talking about
Every time you mention certain names, your phone gets cut off. So
you know what, Mike? My phone is sending its own text messages today. I saw it. I watched it. It's typing on the text as fast as it can type.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, we're losing you.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yeah. There's a question in the comments. How bad do you think gas prices will be in line? Do you see it going to $5 a gallon?
Yeah, I think everybody, if you can, you should be buying a couple big jerry cans of gas and putting it away in your house or in your shed. Buy some gas.
Okay.
Just put some away.
3 years ago, they fixed
enough to get you out of town fast if
right
you have
into
to
the
get out of
suburbs.
town. Yeah, out of town, out of the cities. Don't want to be caught without gas.
Well, back in 2017 and 2018, they solved the gas rising by raising property tax, right? So they raised property tax in 2017 and again in 2018. And in 2019, I think they did it for the third time where they raised property taxes across the board. And yeah, so they've kind of fixed this problem by not raising gas prices, by raising property tax. So, I mean, I guess they're going for the gas and the food next.
It's not about fixing problems. There's going to be a lot more problems. They say the Fed screws up all the time. They raised rates wrong. They lowered them wrong. The Fed doesn't screw up. They don't screw up because they got us here where they want us to be. This is where we're going. This is going to play out. We're going where they want it to be. I fully believe this is a depopulation event. And I'm not talking vaccines or whatever. I'm talking death by 1,000 cuts. We have to make some big decisions here. We're doubling the population every 40 years. We can't go to 16 billion. That's not going to happen. We're killing our food chains. When those are gone, we're gone. You want to make the decision? Make it now. You don't want to sit in this room? Get the hell out. These are the decisions that are going to be made. You got to think like they're thinking. And they're right. They're right. This has to be done. Come to terms with that. I've come to terms with it. They're doing what they got to do. They tried to bleed it off. They tried several different ways. I don't know. I don't want to get into all that, but they've tried several different ways. They lowered the sperm count 60%. But guess what? We live to 82 years. This has to be done now, within the next few years. We can't wait for everyone to grow old and die. This has to be taken care of now. There's too many. Our systems are collapsing all around the world. Look at the lumber. We're chewing up forests faster than they grow. We're adding 80 million a year. Let's get real here. Let's get real. Let's stop playing games like we're going to fix this. Oh, gas will come down. Oh, yeah, this I'm going to get rich on this and that. No. There's going to be a transfer of wealth. That's going to be gone. And this thing is not going to turn out well. Look at John Rubino wrote a story there. He's talking Mad Max scenarios, and I agree with them. Mad Max scenarios. I don't want to be I'm just calling it the way it is. I wish it would be better. I wish I could have kept all my duplexes, bought more, and made millions and millions of dollars. I started selling them because I see the big picture. I see it more and more every day. And it's becoming very apparent to me that this is what they're going to do. This has to be done. When you start looking at all the fish stocks that are gone, the Fukushima and the water, that water is going to get polluted. They're putting another 200 million gallons of that polluted water into the ocean in 2022. This is not going to turn out good. How many species are we losing every day? This thing is coming apart. And that's what I think, Mike. That's the end picture here. That's what's going on. And it's going to be death by 1,000 cuts. It's not going to be one direct thing. The wars, no. These people are all in on this together. There might be some smaller countries like Syria that's not in on it and stuff like that, but the big players, China and that, these guys are all in on this. Whatever they're showing you is probably to take more life or to put on a distraction. But this is the agreed plan in this world, and people need to come to terms with that. And I hope I don't freak too many people out by saying that.
You know what? I'm smelling something here. Hold on. You know what I'm smelling?
What's that?
A debate. It looks like Blunt News. It has a few things to say, and it's good to get a good, healthy debate on the channel.
You know what? I would kill to sit down with every single person in this room, one-on-one, and talk. And just because you know what? You learn so much from everybody else's point of views.
Yeah.
You know, you just learn so much. Don't waste your time trying to wake up sheep. That is a dead end. When you talk to other people, the answers come to you. They ask you questions that make you think, and all of a sudden you think, holy crap, I just figured something else out. It comes to you when you talk to like-minded people. Talking to sheep is a waste of time. You're not waking those people up. 2, that's a misallocation of time. You have way better time spent talking with like-minded individuals. That's where you're going to find your answers. And that's where you can find more strength. That took a while to learn that, but that's what you want to do, is talk to those people. Why? What's Blunt saying?
No, we could have it's a friendly debate, just talking about, what's going on, and he's not. It just talking about green, talking about what's happening. You know what? I'm gonna be really, really frank with you. I honestly think they're lying. Look, they've lied to us about everything. Okay. I don't believe the Earth's population is as big as they say it is. I'm really beg to differ. I'm a population deniist. Okay, I'm a meatitarian, and I got a lot of things good going for me. You know what I'm saying? But I just believe in my heart of hearts that I don't know. Like there's some it just doesn't add up sometimes. What they're telling us, especially about the Earth's population, Raven. And not only that, okay, let's say it's 8 or 9 billion. We've constructed distribution. We've constructed a monetary system. We've constructed a lot of things, militaries, all kinds of stuff, to keep our population in check if it needs to be, right? I just believe that this whole climate thing and the population thing, they've been playing change the song, man. It's getting old, man. And when the narrative doesn't fit, they change the title. It's climate crisis now. It was climate change last year, and 3 years and 5 years ago was global warming, and then 20 years, 30 years it was Ozone Layer Protection Act in the 80s, and then if you go back to the 1800s, it's methane gas distribution for farmers for their cows. There's too much song and dance going on. I think in a lot of countries the death rate is a lot higher than the birth rate. And I'm thinking this has been going on for a lot longer than we could perceive.
I know you believe there's 3 or 4 billion. I've talked to you before about that.
I just don't believe. No, I'm about 5 billion, pushing 6 maybe. I just don't. You fly over Canada, it's all empty land. 95% of it's empty. You fly over the States, you got to wait 20, 30 minutes before you fly over another major city. Oh, there's Nashville. Okay, go back to sleep. Oh, wake up. Oh, there's Miami. It's like you got, there's so much vast open. I've driven from Miami to Vancouver to Los Angeles to San Diego. There's so much open space. There's so much forests everywhere. There's so much, yes, there are people. But there's a sense of civilization, a sense of connecting through, whether it's a highway, whether it's through rail, whether it's through flight. I just don't believe what they're trying to sell us is all. It's been going on for too long. Change the friggin' song.
I'm not so much into the climate change stuff. I know they use that a lot. But I watched a biologist on YouTube a few years ago. I can't find him. They've scrubbed him right off the internet. But he was saying about 3-4 years ago that by 2026, small pockets of humans are left. It's a grain issue. It comes down to grains. And they've taken everything that he said off the internet. And that guy was really smart and well-accredited, a biologist. And I don't know if probably Mitch watched USA Watchdog a couple years back when they had Dane Wigington on, and he said by 2026, no more animals left on the planet at the rate that we're going now. They desperately want to turn the rural areas back to forest lands and try and save this. You're not going to do that by adding 80 million people. We're running out of everything. Minerals, fish, water, land, food. We're stripping this planet. We're chewing its resources up like insects.
Well, why aren't they doing anything about China? China's deforesting big portions of Africa. China is doing whatever they want. They don't go by any guidelines of safety and requirements. We have our biggest coal mine in Canada is Chinese owned with no Canadian hires, but they use our healthcare if somebody gets hurt. So when are they going to go after China for this?
You read all the elites.
You want a smoking gun? It's China.
Well, they're going to deal with China. They're going to deal with all of them. Everybody's going to be dealt with. You can take probably 1 in 10 are going to be around, but they're going to clean this thing up. All of them believe population is the number one problem. I believe that too. We are killing this planet. We're going too fast, doubling every 40 years. We can't go to 16 billion.
They said the same thing about oil. We're going to run out of oil by 2020. No, we got
We
more
are
oil than what we need right now, and the earth produces it naturally. It's like our lifeblood. It produces oil naturally. I had a friend in Saudi Arabia. He said he could go out in the desert in a random part. He could drive with his car to a random area in Saudi Arabia, walk out 30, 40 feet away from his car into the desert, and he could start digging, and you'll start to see oil.
In 1994, 700 miles north of here, I watched two guys pollute a lake in 1 hour, killed that little pristine lake. Two guys. We got 7.8 billion people here. We're killing the planet. That's just a fact. Check out every single news story you can see about everything out there, from the bees to the fish to the everything. Too many people using too much stuff. If we go to 16 billion, this planet's going to glow red. It's got to be done.
I think birth rates are dropping everywhere. I think death rate is higher than birth rate in China.
You're right. They are dropping everywhere because they're running programs. They are dropping, but we live 80 years. It's too much. It's too much. COVID so far has taken the average of two years of life expectancy off of all of us. That's what they figure. The biggest drop since World War II. We're 20 tons of carbon per person. So you just took 40 tons of carbon out of the atmosphere for every single person. You know, that's tons. When they grounded the airplanes, they took 2.5 billion tons out. That's how fast they're trying to stop this. They grounded everything. They stopped small business.
Raven, the trees are our air filters. We have more trees on Earth today.
Yeah, and right now, Mike, a 2x4 is $7. We're chopping them down faster than they grow, and we're building as fast as we can. Let's look at it this way. We only got a 12 of beer left. There's 9 people at the party. Let's kick 7 out, and we can each have a 6-pack. You know, There's too many people at the party. We're drinking all the beer. We got to save some for ourselves. You know, these people, the ones in charge that are running the show, and you just think like they would think. They have everything. Why sit back and watch a bunch of cattle chew up the rest of what you got? And we're all done in 20, 30 years. We're all finished. When the food chain, everything is gone. We can salvage it now. That's what they're doing. This is going to be death by 1,000 cuts. It's not going to be one blaming on one thing, because then you would go after one person. This is going to be a multiple of things: food, vaccines, virus, whatever, wars. This is going to be a multiple of things. But they are going to bring this number down. They're going to bring it down. That's coming. That's what I believe. It's coming. The whole systems, everything is going. You name it. Look at the currencies. What happens when that currency crashes? Do you think we have contingency plans in this city? They're not even growing green space for these old people who are on fixed income. They're not going to have enough money to buy food here in 6 months. Why are the mayors of these towns not looking at that and starting up volunteers? Let's get green space. I'd start tomorrow. Get me the people in here. I want to know where our land is around this city with volunteering. We'll give them a kickback on their taxes or something. But these old people, they're on fixed income. Where are they finding yield? They're going to have to eat in every single city. And we're going to watch them go hungry because our food banks are already 500%. It's coming down in every angle. You know, we got to look realistically at this with a lot of common sense and put the pieces together. They're looking at it. We might as well look at it too, and stop looking at the fluff that they're selling us on TV and the distractions and there's too much distractions. It's just, and they like to, what's that word? They like to, look at I like saying that when Trump ran against Clinton, Linda Rothschild held a dinner for $100,000 a plate for Hillary. They'd selected Trump years earlier. Misdirection. There's the word I'm looking for. These guys sell you misdirection all day long and you eat it up. They do one thing, but they're hiding another reason. It's all misdirection. And they've got we can't even think. The whole nation's divided. Trump helped them do it. Biden's doing it. But now you got to look at Biden. Why would they put a complete idiot in charge of a country? The guy is an Alzheimer's patient. They did that for public perception. They want you to know the guy's an idiot. Why? Because you can't hyperinflate a currency until you have a loss of confidence in your government. We will lose confidence in these governments and these currencies. And when that thing falls, we've built our armies. Masks, no masks, vaccines, Democrat, Republicans, gay, straight, you name it, man. We've built our divisions all over. Everybody it's a toxic environment everywhere you go. You fight for gas. You see those people fighting for gas on the East Coast? Wait till they got no food. Wait till you see them fight for food. That's going to be insane. Everybody's
well, definitely.
at everyone's.
Well, once you lose the fuel to distribute, and distribution means nothing without the transportation, right? And obviously you're going to lose. People are going to
your supply chains lock up. You know, we're running pretty hot, man. We got the gas pedal to the floor. You know, we're running hot right now. Everything is melting up. Well, except gold and silver, of course. Woo! Because if you're owning that, you're outside their system. They can't track you. They can't trace you. They don't own you. You own your wealth by yourself. That is the kryptonite to them. You know? And when this thing goes, guess what? They'll take whatever's left. So, and everything will crash when it goes. Gold, silver, crypto, houses, bonds, everything will crash. It's what comes out of the flames after, which I believe will be gold and silver, because that'll be a hard, tangible currency that you can hold in your hand and barter with, you know?
Fair enough.
I don't know the full story on how cryptos will play into that. I'm sure they will at some, you know, in some facet, but
well, the infrastructure's been built, so why not just, you know?
Well, that guy wrote a Nobel Peace Prize paper about printing money, and he said when you start printing money, you run your economy as hard as you can, pedal to the metal. When you're getting close to the end, you throw the rest into infrastructure, then you blow your currency, and you have your infrastructure in place.
Right.
And now Biden is now asking for $2.3 trillion for infrastructure. Does that mean we're near the end? You know, they're trying to get their everything in place, right?
Right.
And his infrastructure bill, he's giving away money to other stuff that's not even infrastructure. Just like the stimulus, 1.9 trillion. Why are you sending all these packages to these other countries? Is that payoff for lockdowns? Are you paying off countries for lockdowns? What are you doing with that? Woo! You know?
Mm-hmm.
But everything they're doing is a show. I believe that. And some stuff, a lot of people, there's only probably a handful at the top that know the true story. And the people that start going down lower in the puppet area, they believe like they're sold, this is the way it's moving, just fall in line. We're moving the countries in this way. This is what's going to happen. And the lower down you go, the less you know. And I believe they probably tell people like Fauci and Gates and that, make as much money as you want off those vaccines. This is the end result we want. We'll keep you out of jail. We'll keep you safe. Just do what you got to do. Make the money you want to make. But this is the end result that we want. We need to get that population down. We're going to do it in all these different ways. You know what? 99.997 survival rate, Mike, doesn't justify what they've done at all. We all know that. Common sense tells you that. So you start looking at what they're doing. They're burying potatoes in the States. They're severing food distribution. Now we got the swine flu, avian bird flu, hitting the pork, hitting the poultry. You know, you look around the world and you think, wow, this thing is starting to fall apart. Then you got the gas problems, and it's probably going to keep coming. There'll be more cyber attacks, cyber pandemic, just like Klaus Schwab said. You know, World Economic Forum, everybody knows that. They watched them. It'll make COVID look like a small distraction. Yeah, it will, because when you got no food, you're going to be quite distracted.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
All right, I'm wrapping into my second hour. We'll talk about this on Mike in the Night. We don't even know what to call the show next week, because I don't even know what's going to happen in the next 3 days.
Well, you call it, didn't you call it Sell Your Soul or something?
Oh, they want your soul.
Yeah, you said, what do they want from us earlier? I heard you said, what do they want from us? They've got this. That you said that earlier. What do they want from us? They want you dead. That's what they want.
Mm-hmm.
They want you dead. And that's what they're going to get. That's what I say. That's my take on it. People probably won't agree with that, but you know what? Read enough stories around the world of what's happening and try and put it together and use common sense. And think about let's think, you got $1 trillion in your bank account, maybe 5 trillion. You're running countries. What do you think you would do? You don't value human life at all, except for your own families.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do? You're going to let this place just go in the toilet? We've been running a party for a century here, you know, just out of control.
Canada's pushing to get its population to 50 million by 2035 or something. So why is Canada trying to be green but wanting to increase its population? It makes zero sense. Like, if
The
you
only
look at
thing on
it,
these-
we're seeing
only-
two sides of a story every time, and they're not telling us what is what.
The only thing on their mind is population control. That's what it comes down to. Many, many agendas will be filled during that time. You will get your cryptocurrencies, you'll get your vaccines, your ID passports, you'll get all that stuff, social credit scores, you'll get all that stuff. It'll all come. But main goal is to bring that population down to a sustainable level where we can get at least another 100, 200 years out of this planet, smart enough to maybe figure out some things. But at the rate we're going, we're not going to figure out much because the whole thing is coming down. And I think maybe we're even past the point of no return. Who knows? It really comes down, I think, to a lot of the grain issues and a lot of the ecosystems, the animals, the insect, everything. We're losing so many a day. And if that guy's saying they're all gone by 2026, that's 5 years from now, 4.5 years. How far off are these people? Remember, those 11,000 scientists in 2019 said, we got 12 years. When there's that many saying that you got this much time, there's obviously a problem out there somewhere.
It could be something that's happening somewhere that they're not telling us about at all. And I think it has nothing to do with climate. It has nothing to do with anything that's on the table. I think there's something even bigger. All that's happening could be the big distraction to what is really going to be unfolded. Anyways, Raven, I'm going to let you go because I got to go. I got to check my kids out here.
Okay, right on.
Take
have a
care.
good night.
Bye.
Bye.
So that is the Raven. We'll have him back on Mike in the Night to do an update and on what's going on. And there's a lot happening because there's too much lying going on. If Canada is so green and want to protect why are we trying to push our population to like 50 million? Why are they pushing more immigration and deporting other cultures out of the country? It makes no sense. What's happening here just in the grand scheme of things. They want to bring down population. Canada's at a cool 35 million, and our death rate's higher than our birth rate. If it wasn't for birth tourism from China, we would actually be in a severe decline if it wasn't from the birth tourism coming in from China, because there's more people coming in from China having babies but if other European countries do the same here in Canada, they get deported immediately. So it's kind of weird what's happening. We're not getting a balance on what's really happening across the globe. We're getting like a lot of mixed messages. That's what I'm thinking is happening. It's a lot of mixed messages. All right, guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I want to get to 14,000 subscribers by Christmas. I'm at 13,900 and I think 980 or something. I'm 20 subscribers away from 14,000. Hopefully by Christmas I could be at 14,000 subscribers. I usually gain 3 to 5 subscribers a month. So there's the channel there, guys. Please subscribe to the channel if you're watching this. Mike in the Night, this Saturday, we want your soul. What is happening? What do they want from us? What is happening? What do they want from us? Right? So don't forget to set your reminders for next Mike in the Night. We want your soul. I Love Amerifornia t-shirts are selling well here on Teespring. They're kind of pricey, but don't forget to pick one up and support the channel if you want to pick up I Love Amerifornia. Coming your way from the Mike Martins channel. I coined a term. Amerifornia is happening. And guys, if you want to message me, please message me on Instagram is the best way to message me. Show tips. I don't get any show tips on Facebook anymore. They just block my stuff. And Art by Dano. Don't forget to check him out. Art by Dano, not your typical art. Artbydano.com. Not your typical art. Got a new release section. He's one of us, and he understands what's going on. Guys, don't forget to donate to Mike in the Night Amerifornia Tour 2021. Where Lord Humongous is restoring a van, and he's going to be going around America to pick up stories. I've donated to it, guys. Don't forget, here it is, the link. Don't forget to donate $5 or $6 to Lord Humongous. And also, Ralphie.co.New Zealand. Don't forget to donate to his radio station if you guys can. I really appreciate it. And, look forward to listening to what you guys have to say on Mike in the Night. Mike in the Night's going to be really good. Hopefully we can get a debate going on from two callers. But I think this whole what's happening now is the big distraction from what they're actually planning in the background. So this whole climate thing, this whole whatever infection, whatever that's going on, I think there's something even bigger in the works. I think this is the whole distraction, and this is what's on the table right now, and that's what they want us to talk about. So We got Linda saying, regardless of what's bigger, these people are nasty and they don't have your best interest in heart. Of course they don't. So, Tignim, thanks for coming on. Layla. We're going to get her on, hopefully on Mike in the Night, to explain what's happening in the Middle East. John Ming in the house. Raven in the house. D-Man in the house. Dwag Entertainment in the house. Gallo in the house. We got all kinds. Blunt News in the house. We got Metal Gear Mark III in the house. All kinds of cool people, new people joining the show. Thanks for being on the show tonight. Don't forget to share this so we can get this discussion out to find out what the heck is happening. Hopefully we can get a debate between the Raven and Blunt News to maybe kind of square things off and kind of iron out some of the wrinkles of what is going on so we can get a better perspective on what's happening realistically. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. God bless everybody.